Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault. In this week's commentary video, I'm going to open with an analogy, and hopefully you guys know the person that I'm talking about. Have you guys ever heard of a woman from Europe named Greta Thunberg? Well, if you haven't, she is one of these climate alarmists. She has made her name going around the world telling people the world is going to end in 2 or 3 years or whatever it is at that moment, of course, to get the most traction and to get the most people fired up. And every one of her predictions that she's made in the recent past has not come to pass. In fact, she's 20 years old now and she just graduated from high school. Yeah, 2 years late because she was gallivanting around the world. But a lot of people were making a meme about this because she claimed if we didn't do anything about carbon emissions, the world would be over. The environment would be destroyed by the year 2022. Well, it's 2023 now, and we really haven't done or changed much. What happened? Well, I think we all know, yes, we should be good stewards of the earth and we should not want to pollute. We should take care of the resources that we have. However, these climate alarmists are doing this for power. They're doing it for money, and a lot of them are misguided. Now, I don't like to use the term lie because lie implies intent. And when I apply this to other gun tubers and people that comment in gun social media, I'm not necessarily thinking that they're lying, but they might be unintentionally misleading people. And I think it is our responsibility as gun owners, gun content creators, and just general people that support the Second Amendment that we must demand better of ourselves and our community. After all, when people come into our community, we don't want to look like tinfoil hat crazy people. We want to make sure that the information that we are giving out is factual, rational, and logical to the best information that we have at that time. And yes, sometimes people get things wrong. I get things wrong in my videos all the time, but it's my responsibility to try to fix that. Sometimes you'll see me pin a comment or say something in the description and go, hey, in this video I said this gun had this length barrel. Oops, my mistake. Instead of it being 3.5, it's 3.25. Just to let you know, I used the wrong terminology in the video. And as I learn these things, I do my best to try to go back in time and fix them. So how does this relate to what's going on in the gun world right now? Well, it is post ATF pistol brace amnesty. Yes, as I'm making this video, we are in mid-June. And so it's been about 2, maybe 3 weeks since the brace rule went into effect. And before that, we had 6 months to figure out what we were going to do. And there were a lot of myths that were perpetuated. Sometimes it was commenters on channels like mine. Sometimes it was other gun tubers. And sometimes it was people doing interviews with people in the gun industry. But now we have a little bit of time to look back, a little bit of hindsight, and say, was any of that true? What actually transpired, and how can we use this information going forward? And more importantly, are we going to hold to account the people that misled others and never corrected what they said? You know, there's a lot of fearmongers on gun YouTube today. People that say, oh my gosh, the world is over, groundbreaking news, and you guys know my whole rant on that. And they get clicks day after day after day saying virtually nothing, but getting people all fired up. These same big YouTube channels perpetuated myths and misunderstandings, and who knows, maybe they did lie for 4 or 5 months. And now that all that came out and nothing happened, does anyone go back and go, hey, how can I continue to trust you in the information that you're giving me if pretty much everything you said in the past 5 months was false? Shouldn't we demand better of these big content creators? After all, With great power comes great responsibility. And these YouTube channels, they make a lot of money. And they have a reach way bigger than mine. Where I reach just a few hundred people, they can potentially reach hundreds of thousands, if not millions. And I think it's important that we as grassroots gun owners hold these people to account. Now, I am not saying that we should boycott them. I'm not saying you should not watch these channels. I'm not saying that you shouldn't enjoy these channels or recommend them to other people. But what I am doing is that in a courteous and civil way, we need to hold these people's feet to the fire and go, hey, for 3 months you said this and it didn't happen. Do you have anything to say? Are you going to change your journalistic standards to make sure that this misinformation isn't perpetuated in the future? After all, the laws and the regulations that we fight as gun owners are already bad enough. They're terrible. Why do we need to lie about them? If we could get everybody consolidated under the same banner, and I'm not saying we all have to agree on what's the best gun or the best politician or the best policy, but we all have to have certain sets of principles. Number one, the Second Amendment is important to us all, and it shall not be infringed. But number two, we want truth and facts. We don't want speculation, and we don't want fear. Imagine if the entire gun community was united under the banner of truth and facts and honesty. All that energy, all those emotions, all those feelings, and all that movement could be focused in one direction. And I really feel like we could win the greater battles. So I'm asking you guys to call out our fellow gun owners, but in a civil way. Don't be mean about it. But let's talk about 3 things that I heard constantly and am still hearing in the comment sections of my videos that some people seem to believe, even though we've discussed this ad nauseum and nothing has happened, and hold these people to account. After all, if you dispel misinformation, everyone else in the comment section is kind of rolling their eyes and going, oh my gosh, it's the Greta Thunberg of the gun world. You might think you're doing something and getting on somebody's nerves, but in reality, everyone's just rolling their eyes at you because they know the truth. They've seen what's actually happened, and everything that you've said hasn't come to pass. So let's talk about these things. The first one is the 88-day background check rule, that if you had submitted one of these braced pistols for the amnesty registration, and after 88 days, if you didn't get your approved form because of a background check, they just gotten around to it, they're going to come and arrest you. They're going to come take the gun. Now they've closed the background check and you're a felon. They're going to break into your house in the middle of the night with a SWAT team and kill your family, kill your dog, arrest you, and take all of your guns. I've heard that over and over again. In fact, that was the catalyst for this video because somebody in the comment section of my last ATF pistol brace video said that, or something like it, to one of the other commenters. And I just kind of rolled my eyes again. I was like, oh my gosh, where are they getting this information? After all, show me the proof. We have people that are still waiting after 120 days of filing this application of the ATF coming to collect their guns, and we don't find one story. You would think that if it was true, one of those fear-mongering channels, those legal channels, or those news channels would report on that, right? Give me one story where somebody applied for the amnesty registration. 88 days went by and they came and collected their gun. Well, you don't find that. Why? Because it wasn't true. This all stemmed from a big gun tuber interviewing an ATF agent, I believe at SHOT Show. Now, this ATF agent was not an ATF examiner, was not a legal scholar when it comes to the NFA world. He was just a basic ATF agent, and he knows cursory knowledge about gun stuff, I guess. He's more of an enforcement officer. He does what he's told. And this guy said, yeah, after 88 days, they're going to close the background check and come and get you. You're a felon. And nobody did their research. Well, other gun channels actually did, the responsible ones. But the person that reported this didn't have any journalistic standards and go, whoa, 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 that's a bold claim. And as the statement goes, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. They should have looked this up. And if they did, they would actually find that this whole background check thing stems from when you buy a gun at a gun store or a gun show and fill out an ATF 4473. They're only allowed to keep the records in the background check system for 3 months or 90 days. And essentially, if they start a background check on you and it comes back delayed, we all know that after 3 days, the gun store can still sell you the gun. That's the law. But they might continue to look into you for 88 days. And if they don't find anything or don't get around to it, it legally has to be closed. It doesn't mean they go to the gun store and say, "Did you sell that gun to them? We have to go collect it." They're like, "Well, it closed and that's it." That's all it was. It dealt with 4473s, not NFA items. And this was a myth that was perpetuated by people that had no idea about the NFA system. People wait years or sometimes a year and a half to get their silencer. If this 88-day thing was real, don't you think we'd have way more problems than that? Give me one story where that was the case. You can't, because it was a myth. It was not true. And all of you that perpetuated that myth or believed that myth or posted that myth on other gun channels or comment sections or social media, do you hold yourself to account? Are you willing to go out there and say, "You know what, guys? I was wrong. I was misled, and I believed this gun tuber because he had 1 million subscribers, and I was wrong"? And are you going to go to that gun tuber and go, hey, I'm a big fan of yours, but you said this and got me all fired up. You lied to me, or maybe not lied. I said lie means intent. You misled me. Are you going to take responsibility for that? Are you going to apologize? If you're not going to, all these channels are going to do is continue to mislead you. They're going to continue to lie to you or give you clickbaity things so you continue to click their videos when they're telling you incorrect information just to get you to click the video so they can make money. And there's nothing wrong with clicks and making money, but you can do that by being honest and giving good information. Another myth that was perpetuated constantly for months was the 922R myth. You can't register a B&T, an HK, a CZ, a Beretta, anything that's made overseas that's a braced pistol, because they're going to come to your house and arrest you for 922R. You're a felon. We're going to kill your family, your dog, and the whole rigmarole. They're going to deny that now they know what you have and they're coming after you. Well, I'm going to ask you again. We had 5 or 6 months before the braced period ended, or the amnesty period ended, and now we're a few weeks in. Has there been one arrest on 922R? Has there been one story about a denied application or a disapproval because of 922R? Can you give me just one? And the answer is no. The ATF actually dispelled this myth in the frequently asked questions that I cited to in my past videos. And of course, people that believed it went, "You can't believe the ATF. They're wrong. They're going to get you. It's the greatest trap out there. They're going to come kill you and your dog," and on the whole thing again. Where is that? Where are all these people dying at the hands of the ATF? Where is this mass genocide of dogs at the hands of the ATF because people tried to amnesty register a foreign-made braced pistol and they said, "Oh no, 922R." If you can't show me one example, just one example, you need to reevaluate yourself. If you believe this myth, and were not swayed by other rational and logical gun tubers that actually did their research and showed you online, "Hey, this is what the ATF are saying about this," and went, I can't believe the ATF. You need to ask yourself, are you part of the problem? Are you going to apologize to everybody that you said 922R was going to be a problem? And are you going to hold those YouTubers to account? The people that you follow and admire, are you just going to go ask them and say, "Hey, you were wrong about this," even though the ATF said you were wrong and put it into the frequently asked questions? "Hey, nothing happened. Do you mind explaining why that is? Just give me the correct information. I'm still your fan. Just don't lie to me. Don't mislead me. Will you apologize? And will you change your journalistic standards in the future to make sure this doesn't happen again? Because you have millions of subscribers, and it's your responsibility with that type of power and that type of reach to make sure that the people of the gun and the people that are following your content get good and honest and real information. The last myth that I want to dispel is the whole you can't have red dot optics or iron sights or scopes on your braced pistol, because when you register them, if they see a picture of that, they're going to say it's a rifle the entire time. They're going to come arrest you, kill your dog, and the whole thing once again. I'm still getting that one. People are asking, hey, when I submitted a picture of the gun and it had a red dot optic on it. Are they going to come arrest me? Are they going to disapprove it because it had a sight on it? I remember reading all that about that in the beginning. Well, that was a holdover of the original plan, of this weird point system they had for what's a braced pistol and what's not a braced pistol. But none of that carried over into the actual amnesty and into the new regulation. It was all speculation. Are they going to continue to use that point system in that form? Well, no. When you actually read the regulation and the rule change, none of that was really in there. And there has been no problems. Once again, I challenge you to give me one example where there was a disapproved form or somebody was arrested or received a visit from the ATF to their door because when they submitted their amnesty registration, they had a scope on their braced pistol. Guess what? You can't. Because you know as well as I do, all those fear-mongering channels would be all over it. And they're not talking about any of that. Why? Because it didn't happen. This was more myths and misinformation that was presented by these big YouTubers that so many people believed. So ask yourself in the future, am I helping the gun community by not doing my research and not holding these big channels to account? Should I demand more of the biggest voices, the people that represent you and me? Because let's just be honest. If you're new to the gun world and you go on YouTube or you go on Rumble or any social media and you find the biggest channels from Hickok 45 to Guns and Gadgets, those people represent us because those are the faces and the voices that the common people that aren't the dorks like you and I are. And I use that term affectionately because we love guns. We love the Second Amendment. We're nerds. We're dorks. We love everything about guns and gun politics. A lot of people aren't. And these are the voices that they see, the voices that they hear. And think about what it looks like when those voices are spreading misinformation, where they're clickbaity and they're lying to people, getting people all fired up, getting people all emotional over things that aren't true. And then you go out and perpetuate those on comment sections of other social media accounts. You look like Greta Thunberg. Oh my God, the ATF's coming to kill you. They're coming to collect your guns. You're going to jail. And it never happens, ever. Then you have to go and explain to people, I know I said it was the end in 2012, but it didn't happen. Okay, but it's the end in 2015. Okay, it wasn't 2015. I was totally wrong. The world's going to end though in 2017. Okay, it's 2018 now. I know I said 2017. Okay, it's 2022. Okay, everything's going to be over in 2020. Okay, it's 2023 now. Eventually, you're not going to listen to them, and you yourself become a meme. You become the problem. Now, if you're not one of these people, great. And if you are one of these people, it is okay. I'm not mad at you, and I don't think other gun owners are mad at you. You care about the Second Amendment. You love guns as much as I do. So we're all in this together. But I want to ask you and inspire you and demand of you that we all band together under the banner of truth and honesty and good information to the best of our knowledge. After all, things can change. Things that we think are true, and the rational and reasonable people go, yeah, based on all of the evidence, this is what it probably is, and it's wrong. But that's when the responsible people go, hey, we used this analysis in the past, and it turns out that we were wrong. This is what actually happened. But I don't see some of those big channels making any corrections like that. That big channel that I mentioned before that did that interview with the ATF officer, has he retracted any of that? Has he gone back and said, well, guys, listen, man, oh man, did I screw up. I should have done my research. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to be better for you in the future. Nope. It's still fear-mongering. It's still the latest and greatest groundbreaking news, 6-3 Supreme Court decision. And it's all fake. It's all lies. It's all clickbait. It's all misleading you to get you fired up. Because when you're fired up over misinformation, you click videos and you donate money. We can be better than that. Our community can be better than that. Let's band together under truth, honesty, facts, knowledge, and using our brains and not our hearts. So I'm asking you, hold yourself accountable, hold me accountable, hold other YouTubers accountable, and the people you look up to. You don't have to boycott them. You don't have to be mean. You just have to ask a tough question. Hey, big fan of your channel. Why did you get this information wrong? Are you going to retract this? Are you going to make an update to this video? Because what you said for 4 months was wrong. I need to know that I can trust you and you're doing your best to give me good information. We must demand better. So what do you guys think? Is this a problem in the gun world? Do we need to do better? I sure think that we need to. We need to be honest with each other, be factual and rational. So let me know what you think in the comments section below, and are you holding others to account? So, as always, thanks for watching.